Hey, shalom, 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 everyone. Welcome to the first episode of Criminal Justice Tuesday. I have so many things going on in the My Take world. You know, we got My Take with Rosh Ya'acob. We doing so many big things. Got so many things going on. And I'm like, you know what? I tried to have that day off, but I got to do something on Tuesday as well. Just so, because I got so much stuff I want to talk about, and it's like, it's like everything in the world to talk about. And this is one thing tonight that I felt like I had to get into. Had to get into this tonight. I wasn't planning on talking about this at all. I was trying to leave it alone. I felt like it was the distraction, and I felt like I felt like it was something that people was building up because black people have been being to themselves, been building, but not caring about the race baiting and stuff that's been going on. They've been trying to find a way to get black people angry, find a way to get black people upset, right? And I'm looking at this whole thing, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be somebody to help spread this stuff that's going to get black people upset and angry, right? But at the same time, it's like the stories and the stuff that's coming out, and what finally put the tip to what finally tipped my cup over, so to speak, is when I heard the After Dark panel with Anton and After Dark and his panel, and I heard their take on it, and I was like, I gotta say something. Like, I was trying not to say nothing, right? I was trying to leave it alone. I said, I'm not going to say nothing about this. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm leaving this alone, right? And then when they said something, I was like, I can't just, wow, people got, So we going to touch it. I'm going to be nice. We going to touch on this. You know, I respect him and his platform and what they do. I agree with a lot of things Anton says, and some things I don't agree with, and especially with certain things that happen on his panel. But I said, you know what? I'm going to touch on this issue only because of them. You know, because I was going to leave it alone. I really was. I really was going to leave it alone. Y'all see I done jumped on everything else but this. But every time I go on TikTok or anywhere, all I see is stuff about this. And then when they did the panel and I heard their take, I was like, no, I gotta say something. Anyway, with that being said and done, for those of y'all who don't know me, my name is Rosh Ya'acob ben Abraham. I am the Rabbi at Gethsemane Spiritual Temple Congregation, and on this platform, we discuss all kind of issues depending on the day, and it's all based off of Torah. So that's the common denominator with all of the issues that we deal with. The common denominator is going to be dealing with Torah. We're going to be dealing with the Torah portion. All right, so I want to make sure you guys know and understand that. Monday, of course, was Breaking News. We had a great episode from Breaking News. You know, I said Mondays and Fridays are going to be my live days. Mondays had a great episode from Breaking News. Boy, China wasn't playing. China fought back. So if you missed that, please check out Breaking News from Monday if you missed that. Of course, today got a new series that's going to start on Tuesdays, starting with today's show, which is called Criminal Justice Tuesdays. Then we got Questions and Answers Wednesday, where I try to answer different questions that people have about the Torah or about the Bible in general. And I normally take different aspects of different things. And tomorrow is going to be a special show because we're dealing with a guy using AI. And the guy's going to use AI to help him as he builds an argument to try to defeat the Bible. So definitely don't want to miss it. When you see the picture of the guy, most of y'all probably done seen him before. He calls himself, Did You Know 2431 or something like that. Right? I think that's his name. I think I said it right. I call him Did You for short. Because if I keep saying Did You Know, I felt like that was going to confuse you. Also, we got Rules of Engagement Thursdays, where we talk about different issues dealing with relationships. And last, and definitely not least, we got our show that's been picking up a lot on Fridays. It's been picking up on Fridays, so please tune in on Fridays. We got our Torah portion Fridays. We go into the Torah portion. And this Friday, the Torah portion we're going to deal with is the Shabbat of Pesach. The Shabbat of Pesach. And that's what we're going to be dealing with this Friday, so you don't want to miss it. Thank you all for that. Just wanted to touch on that because, again, as I said, this is a new thing. Y'all know y'all not used to seeing me pop on Tuesdays. So, hey, the more work, if more work coming out, might be on Sundays. But I know I ain't going to be on Sunday. But anyway, want to start off by giving a shout out to our boy Alex in the building, the Art of Clothing, definitely in the building. Oh, let me bend down so y'all can see this. Definitely in the building, the Art of Clothing, got his shirt on, birds of a feather, flock together. So definitely is in the building. Please check out Alex. He is supporting Torah knowledge. He's supporting the spread of Torah knowledge, so we definitely want to support him as he supports the Torah, because that's what it's all about. Also, we got our girl, Sister Linda, got her products that she has. So she got different ways for you to wash your beard, right? If you want the foam, she got the foam, whereas you don't need any water. It foams right up. It'll go on your beard. It can help clean your beard and keep it groomed. And if you like using the bar or you like really lathering up while you're in the shower, you can get this bar right here. It's the beard bar, the beard shampoo bar. You can get this. It got the ridges in it to really let your beard can flow through the ridges as you use it to comb. To clean it. And all her things are all natural. All natural. She makes it. It's made right here. She is the one who makes it. So it's not made in China. I know those of y'all who seen the show last night, y'all got what I'm saying about China. Woo! They wasn't playing for you. I'm telling you, if you missed the show from last night, go back and look at the show. Anyway, all natural stuff, shea butter, aloe vera, tea tree, jojoba oil, rosemary, peppermint. Definitely check this out. I got all her information in the description below. So if you want to check her out or Brother Alex with the AOC, their description is down below. And just want to get one more word from the AOC as we see his commercial for his products. So the AOC people, the Art of Clothing. Yep. So definitely thank you guys for tuning in. Want to get all that good stuff out the way because we're going to go right in. So if it is your first time being on this channel, please like, share, and subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe. Be your first time on this channel. Don't want to hold you guys up with so much. So we're going to go right in with our story. All right. So this is a news clip that's going in on what happened. Is going to give us a little context. Of course, this whole show we're going to be dealing with context. And then I'm going to let us see some of After Dark panel. We're going to switch for them. We're going to see some other stuff. We're going to go back to them. So we're just going to be strolling around, trying to look at every aspect of this so we can get a real good understanding of this and what is going on here, right? So I want to make sure we can get it. So let me make sure the volume is up nice and loud so you guys can hear what's going on when I play this video. I don't want y'all to be like, we can't hear it really. All right, so here we go.
For Karmelo, Anthony will be facing off with Collin County prosecutors. That's going to happen Monday morning in a courtroom. They hope to convince a judge that the 17-year-old who was accused of fatally stabbing another student during a track meet last week is entitled to a reduction of his current $1 million bond.
Now, $1 million is crazy. He got a $1 million bond on him. That's crazy. I'd say people kill people back in the day. You ain't getting no big bond like that. So why is his bond so big? Right? That's one of the things that first hit me when I said, $1 million bond? Golly, what in the world is going on here, right? But okay, I'm going to let him continue.
Anthony's lawyers also visited the track where the stabbing happened today, and they...
Well, let me pause there for a minute, because I want us to see something. We looking at this bond, right? So before we go back into the bond, I want you guys to see something. Because Judge Joe Brown actually is going to talk about this bond. And y'all know how I am. I try to put everything together to make it fit. Judge Joe Brown is actually going to talk about this bond. Let's see what Judge Joe Brown thinks about this bond. As I said, I want some legal minds in here. I don't just want my mind in here because I'm legal as far as dealing with Torah and Halacha. But I want some American legal minds in here, right? So let's see what Judge Joe Brown was saying.
The whole thing about the $1 million bond is absolutely ridiculous because under the Fifth Amendment...
Wait a minute. What'd you say, Judge Joe Brown? Oh, let's go back. I want y'all to see Judge Joe Brown say this. Hold on. Hold on. Judge Joe Brown said, what did Judge Joe Brown say? I want y'all to see what Judge Joe Brown said. Let's go back. What Judge Joe Brown say?
The thing about the $1 million bond is absolutely ridiculous because under the Fifth Amendment, bonds shall be reasonable, and reasonable has been interpreted for the last 230 years by the U.S. Supreme Court and most appellate courts as meaning simply enough to ensure that a person shows up until the charges are disposed of.
See? So that 1 million is excessive. Why so excessive? You know what I mean? Judge Joe Brown, like, wait a minute. That's excessive. So my whole thing is, okay, if that's excessive, why so excessive? Why so excessive? $1 million? Why so excessive? I'm going to let Judge Joe Brown continue.
No more, no less, but there's a trend that the liberal side has set up to punish people who are charged. And under American law, you're presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. An indictment or a charge is presumed under American law to be an accusation only and a mistaken one. So there you go. What you have.
So the charge is an accusation only. And if you're found innocent, is a mistaken one. So the way he's being bonded is if he's already guilty, ready to string him up. You know, it is in Texas, right? Ready to take him out, right? Really? $1 million? Okay, shout out to the real Dana. This is her platform. The real Dana. I love what she does with Judge Joe Brown and how they were able to come together and do this platform. Always got great legal things going on there, so shout out to her. But yeah, this just got me. This got me with this. Got me with this. But anyway, I'm gonna let him finish up.
Is a DA's office that seems to have relied upon some political pressure so that the elected DA is returned to his job.
So they said the DA under political pressure was able to get this push so he could keep his job. Wow. Okay. So politics is being played. Bad enough racialness is being played, but now politics is being played as well.
His stable job, which in today's market, when it comes to lawyers, is a rare thing because few lawyers actually can earn a decent living when they practice law. Some do because they work for large firms, and large firms act on volume and reputation, even if they don't deliver a damn thing. So we have the games that are played with that.
Let me give a little bit of background here.
All right, so Dana about to give him some background, but we're going to get some background too, right? We'll get some background. Might come back to Dana, and I just wanted to play that part right there from my show because I wanted us to get some judicial background with that. Because if I'm saying it, y'all looking at me like, who's this guy? We don't care if he know rabbi. What do he know about anything, right? Get out of here. You know what I'm saying? We not listening to you. You get what I'm saying? So when I give my take, I like to have stuff to back it up and prove what I'm saying. I don't like to just say stuff and that I can't back up or prove. Because then people can jump out the woodwork and say whatever they want to say, right? I like to be able to back up stuff, right? So that's where we was going with that. So now we're going to get back to the clip that, the news clip that Anton and I'm watching. We're going to get back into the news clip that Anton and I'm watching.
They did that, they tell us, to help prepare for the hearing, and only our J.D. Miles was there with them. Attorneys Kim T. Cole and Billy Clark walked through Kirkendall Stadium Thursday, gathering evidence and surveying what last Wednesday morning was a Frisco police crime scene. An altercation between two high school track athletes led to a stabbing that resulted in one dead and another charged with murder.
We just really want to get in our clients' shoes and see what the environment was like. I know it's a beautiful day today. It wasn't anything like it was on April 2nd, but we want to see what it was, what he was going through, just kind of get an idea of, what he saw, what it looked like.
Anthony's attorneys urge the public to avoid rushing to judgment and assuming their client is guilty.
We're still praying for the family, and we also want to ensure that justice is served.
This is all you want to know. Make sure justice is served. Don't rush to judgment, right? Ain't that what we say in America? You are innocent until proven guilty. Ain't that what they say? Ain't that the rhetoric they love to push down our throats when we're mad about something? They say, it gotta be proven guilty. Black people, calm down, black people. Right? And that was normally said. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm not assuming things. Just want to make sure.
Equally. So that's what we're hoping for.
Anthony claims he stabbed Austin Metcalf in self-defense. His attorneys say their first priority is getting the 17-year-old who's been in the Collin County Jail for more than a week released on bond.
Yeah, so they got to get him released on that bond. $1 million bond. I'm still tripping out for that. So they got to get him released off of that. And that's their main thing they worry about now. And they also worry about getting the case. Of course, he said he's claiming self-defense. Because as you're going to see, they got the stand your ground laws down there where you don't have to retreat. You can stand your ground. If someone is doing different things, you've done seen it used against Trayvon Martin and others. And now he's using the same defense. So we're going to see how that works out for our brother.
Next big step is Monday. But he's doing as best as he can under the circumstances.
Part of what they hope will convince the judge to lower the bond is their client's young age and his lack of any previous criminal history. Meanwhile, the church, which hosted a vigil for Austin Metcalf, has had to curtail student activities because of online security threats. Both the victims and the suspects' families also report receiving online harassment and threats. In one case, a fake 911 call sent police to their home.
Guilty! That nigga is guilty!
Now, yes, y'all heard him playing the famous Uncle Ruckus cry where he says where Uncle Ruckus was in a courtroom.
Oh, yeah. It was in 1957, back in Tennessee. Now, the defendant was accused of shooting 3 little white women with a Winchester rifle from about 50 yards away. See, now, he thought he was gonna get off with that old I'm blind excuse. But, oh, boy, he had another thing coming.
The jury will now go off and deliberate on...
Guilty! That nigga is guilty!
Sir, settle down. You have to go deliberate.
I don't need to deliberate. Hang that nigga now. I got the rope right here.
And he was on the jury with all these white people. He was the only black guy on the jury. And he was the first black guy to jump up and say, guilty. That N-word is guilty. And he pulled out a rope for him to get lynched. That's what he decided to play in a situation like this. And at first I said, okay, well, I don't know where this is going to go. But that set the tone for everybody to go this way. And shout out to Anton. Sometimes I think he do things because he wants to stir up controversy. And it get more views and looks when people are angry with you. People will look at you more so they can debate, argue with you. There was this guy called Rush Limbaugh. I used to look at his show and listen to his radio broadcast just so I could argue with it. Before it was the YouTube or doing any of this stuff, I'll be doing exactly what I'm doing now with people. I'll be listening to him, but listen to this guy. Can you believe this guy? Right? Be doing it exactly like that, right? So sometimes they do stuff purposely. I'm hoping maybe this is the case, because if not, after what y'all gonna see, yeah, I'm just gonna go to it. But you see how it started off. It went through the clip. We see all that. We see him saying self-defense. They say, guilty. That N-word is guilty. And it's giggles and laughs and fun. I was about to go there and show the clip, but I'm trying to be good, guys. Trying to be good. This is our first Tuesday show. I want to be good. Want to be good for our first Tuesday show.
I can't hear you, Anton.
My
You
bad.
muted, bro.
I'm assuming that most of us are pretty much familiar with what's going on as far as a lot of videos, a lot of details, a lot of chatter online. But now it's turning into a black versus white racial issue.
Now, that's what it was edged towards at first. And the people that was making it a black versus white racial issue wasn't the black people. It was the white people. The white people was the ones that was beginning to say different stuff about the issue. The black people said, well, we're going to let this, Dad, we sorry to hear about the young man being in this predicament. It's like they ain't really know what to say. It was the white people that was going gun-ho with it. So then, of course, if they going gun-ho, then it's going to be some black people to say, okay, we're going to go gun-ho too, right? So I just want to paint this picture because the scene or what I'm getting from these guys, and you're going to see as we go through, is that it's the black people that's the problem, that's bringing race and all this stuff into it. It wasn't the white people at all, but that is not the case. It was the white people that was bringing the racial stuff involved at first, which is why the father said in the news clip, don't use his son to start racial issues. He said it's not about that. The father says that. The reason why the father says that is because several pro-white groups began to jump on it. Even Nick Fuentes jumps on it and start spewing all kind of hatred towards black people. So much so, and I'm going to do a show about this next Monday for breaking news. So much so that he gets into it with none other than Jason Whitlock. You know it had to be bad for Jason Whitlock to jump in and defend black people. I couldn't believe it. Jason Whitlock, of all people, Jason Whitlock defending black people? But that's how bad it got when Nick Fuentes, when Jason Whitlock jumped in. And then Nick Fuentes going to go in on him. So all this stuff is happening. All this stuff is happening, right? So, but it was the white people that started it first. You even got several white people saying, oh, y'all don't want to bring race into it when it's the white kid that got killed. It's white people saying this. So let's not paint the narrative, which is what I'm getting a feel from on this panel. They paint the narrative like the black people is the problem. It was the black people that was doing this. It was the black people that, no, it wasn't the black people. Let's not go there. The white people started all that racial stuff first. Then the black people start bringing receipts. And for some reason, when we bring receipts, people get mad and just want us to shut up. But I'm going to keep it moving.
I'm hearing that they've raised over $300,000 for this GoFundMe, courtesy of black people and black women.
Then I said, listen to this. Come on. Courtesy of black people and black women. Hold on. Did he say courtesy of black people and black women?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Is it black women part of black people? Help me out, FBA in the audience. Help me out, ADOS. There's a premiere. Y'all can talk on it just like a live. We can go through it. Help me out. Is it black women part of black people? Somebody said courtesy of black people and black women. Like it's two separate groups. But I'm gonna let them be good. I'm gonna let them be good.
And a lot of people are on different sides of the fence. And I want to get y'all thoughts and ideas on what y'all think about this whole situation.
This is not a black or white thing.
All right, so I'm going to slide the camera over some so y'all can see our brother in the corner, because my camera's not big enough and he gonna be missing out. And then I'll slide it back over. So he says this is not a black or white thing. So when he first said that, I was like, I'm with you. That's what all of us said, right, at first. This is not a black or white thing. Right.
They trying to label it George Floyd 2.0. This is a clear.
See, there we go. What did he say? They try to make it George Floyd. Make it smaller so it can fit in, so I don't gotta keep moving it. He says they trying to make it George Floyd 2.0. Who's they? Because again, the people who began to make race and talk and put race into it, it wasn't the black people. So who's the they that's trying to make it into George Floyd 2.0? Okay, but let's keep going. Because I've been following the case. I didn't want to talk about it, but y'all forced, after saying this interview with these brethren and sisterins, I was forced to talk about this because I was not going to talk about this.
Right and wrong thing. The nigga was wrong, okay? In every stage of our life, we have bullies.
All right. So, out the break. Again, and this is their opinions. So, everybody is entitled to their opinion. But at least use some facts with the opinion. So he, of course, and I hate when we call each other the N-word, but he calls him the N-word. The N-word was wrong. And then he's going to say stuff about bullies.
I had a bully in daycare, a bully in elementary, middle, high school, even collegiate, and then at work. You have had a bully on every level.
I haven't had bullies on every level. When I did have a bully when I was young, I fought that bully. I ain't just say, oh, I got a bully, and that was the end of that. Bear the bully for it. The bully stopped being a bully. Because I put hands on him, and the bulliness end. And I made my mind up that I wasn't letting nobody bully me ever again, no matter what grade I was in. So the bully stuff ended with me. So I can't attest to that. Now, maybe some other people can relate to our brother that is people had bullies on every level, but I can't relate to that. But I'll let him finish though.
You don't murder them. You don't murder them, and at one point, all of our kids are somebody bully.
Did I disagree with that? What do you mean at one point all of our kids are somebody's bully? That is not true. Hey, Winnie. I was like, okay. But this is opinion. This is opinion. I'm trying to be good. This is opinion. This is his opinion.
Do our kids deserve to get killed? Or let's play devil.
Now, this again is another thing. And we're going to clear all this up. We're going to clear this up. So if we don't get through this video tonight, we definitely have a part 2 because I want to clear every argument that this panel makes. I want to clear it up. I don't want to leave no stone unturned. So this argument right here is about, oh, he killed him because he was a bully. That is not true. That is not why any of this took place. Did not take place because dude was a bully and he said, I'm tired, I'm going to stand up to my bully and stab him. That is not what happened. So clearly our brother didn't get the full context of the story. He's just running through different scenarios or whatever, because that is not what happened from nobody's account. That was a rumor that was started, but that is not what happened. But I'm going to let him finish.
That was advocate. Let's flip it. Let's say Austin killed Karmelo. Is it self-defense now, black people?
So then he says, let's say Austin killed Karmelo. Is it self-defense now, black people? This is the thing that got me. Whenever it's black people dealing with something, we aren't afforded the same things that the white people are. Because we had George Zimmerman. Remember him, guy? George Zimmerman? Remember he went out, police told him, go in the house, mind his business, don't do nothing. These guys always get away. I'm not going to let them get, not this time. Remember, he made up in his mind, I'm not going to let them get away, not this time. Remember that? Remember when he basically ran down on Trayvon Martin? Remember that? And Trayvon stood his ground to fight. But they said, no, Zimmerman was the one that had to stand his ground. And he pulled out a gun and shot and killed Trayvon. Police let him go home. Nothing happened. He didn't get locked up. He didn't get $1 million bond or none of that. And they knew he killed him. They said self-defense. Remember that? Remember black people had to swallow that, oh, gotta let the legal system do what it do thing. But now in this situation, we're supposed to look at it differently because it's us. And well, you know, the black people always do that. Stop. Black people not doing that no more. Y'all want to keep rolling with it that way. Y'all see all them black people donating money. They not doing that no more. They not sitting back saying, well, you know, he should have did it this way and that way. They not doing that no more. No, they say, we playing the same game you play. You play the game, we play the game. Now we not supposed to play the game that they play all the time. All the time. They play the same game. Same game. Anyway, I digress.
Because that's not, and I ain't gonna say black people. It's black women.
Then how we get to black women? How is it black women? How is black women, like black women the only ones donating the money? Are black women the only, it's black women. What do you mean it's black women? See, that's why I said I felt like Anton set the stage for this when he said black people gave and black women. Like he already set the stage up for the separation. And now our brother right here is pulling up on that and he's saying the same thing. Oh, it's really black women. Really? It's just black women. They the only ones upset about what's going on right now. Okay.
Who was defending this crazy ass rhetoric that this boy was defending himself and he thought that.
How is it crazy rhetoric? How is it crazy rhetoric? That's because you don't know the full case of what happened. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to the full case. And then I'm going to go back and remind everybody of him saying it was crazy rhetoric of defending.
And getting a knife and killing him was the only answer. Who else do a spontaneous behavior like that?
Now, no one said that was the only answer. But again, what you are equating, you're looking at it as if it just was him and a guy head up with each other. It wasn't a head up situation. The guy got a twin brother. Did y'all read that part? Did y'all know he had a twin brother? Did y'all know his twin brother was right there with you? Did you know his twin brother is the one who started the altercation with the guy and the other brother jumped in right with him? Did you know as the twin brother is threatening him that the other brother is right there with him? So what you think going on in his mind? I gotta fight both of these big dudes? What are you gonna do if he gotta fight two big dudes? Not saying that it's right, but he warned them. It's not gonna be what you think it's gonna be. They grabbing his stuff, throwing his stuff to the side. He tried grabbing stuff. Like, what are you talking about right now? You are telling the story wrong. You are wrong with the story. But I'm going to let you keep going.
Nobody but women. That was a woman thing to do. He probably was raised by a woman and he don't.
Then I to tell you don't know the story. You said he probably was raised by a woman. This kid comes from a house with a mother and a father in it. a mother and a father in it. But he's going to keep running with this narrative. Now you might say, come on, how you know he had a mother and a father? Now you running with some rhetoric. How you know he had a mother and a father? What you mean he had a mother and a father? How do you know this, right? I know that's what you might be thinking right now. You might be thinking, how did I know that he had a mother and a father? How in the world could I know this, right? So let's see some things. I want y'all to see some things. I want y'all to see some things, right? How would I know that he had a mother and a father? All right, so let's go. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you how I know. All right, so you say, how do you know? How do you know? How do you know this? Well, I'm gonna go to our brother Stacy. Our brother Stacy is gonna explain how I know this, right? So let's look at what our brother Stacy has to say. So I know you wonder, how in the world you know this? Well, let's check it out. Let's check out what Stacy says.
Brother gotta say nah. Karmelo Anthony's dad actually speaks and says that he was not the aggressor. He said Austin Metcalf and his friends are the ones that started everything, dog.
Now, who said it? His dad. I thought his dad wasn't there. I thought he was all on his own, and you know he just had the black woman. It was just the black woman that was there. I thought it didn't have a dad there. It just was the black woman. Anyway, say it just was the black woman. I thought it just was the black woman. He got a daddy. It was the black woman. They said it's just the black woman, but now you said he got a daddy that was there. So I'm confused. Is it the black woman or is it the daddy? Which one is it? I'm confused. But let's see what his dad says. Because remember, our brother on the other video, on the panel, he says that that he paints the picture that the twins, because again, it was twins, he paints the picture that the black guy just came in aggressively messing with the twins, and the twins ain't do nothing wrong, right? But let's see what actually happened.
Says he was not the aggressor. He was not the one who started it. And I just realized that Austin Metcalf's brother's recollection of the story is slightly different when he told it the day of the event versus when he sat down with Will Kane.
Now, watch this. So the black guy said his father, Karmelo's father, that's supposedly not dead because it's the black woman that's doing everything. Well, Karmelo's dad, he says something different. He says, no, the twins were the aggressors. They were the ones that started with his son first. Now, if you listen to the polished account that the twin brother who was still alive had said, he now told a version of the story based off of having recollection, being able to think about it, having lawyers and stuff advise him, don't say this, don't say that. So he now has this recollection where he recalls it as if the Karmelo was the aggressor. He came in and he started messing with them, this and the other. But from the account of the brother after it happened is the most purest form of the account, because you don't got time to think. You still sad. You thinking about all this stuff. You probably feel guilty because you're the one who started the confrontation and got it to this point in the first place. You probably feel guilty about that. So those are the things that's going on. So let's see what he has to say now. Now this is right after the incident. Let's see what he says. Did Karmelo come up and start aggressively doing stuff to him? Let's see what he say.
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track.
All right, so He didn't come in and sit behind them and start talking reckless and then got aggressive and this other. He was already sitting down in the tent. He was already sitting in there, minding his business. He decides to go over there and talk to the kid. He decides to initiate what then turned into an altercation because the kid was over there, or the young man was over there minding his business. Now watch this.
We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive.
All right. They went over there and told him, you got to move. You can't be under here. Mind you, it's pouring down raining. Dude, like, I'm not going nowhere. That's talking reckless. I'm not going to move. I'm not going to move is talking reckless. That's talking reckless. I'm not going to move. What are you talking about? I got to move. I'm not going to move. Oh, he talking reckless. How dare he? He talking reckless. Really? Because he said, I'm not going to move. But okay, let's keep going.
And talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, you need to move. And he's like, make me move. Austin grabbed his back.
All right. So he says his brother stepped over with him. So how many people is it? Brother on the panel? 2. It's not just one person. He initiated it. His brother stepped in with him. So now you got 2 guys, big guys, up against this guy that's a track runner. And from what I understood, these guys was also on the football team. So you got these 2 big guys stepping up on this young man, telling him to move aggressively. He said, I'm not going to move. That's him talking reckless. So they began, so his brother jumps in and said, oh, you going to move? He says, I'm not going to move. You guys not going to make me move. And then the brother picks up the kid's stuff. Let's tell the whole story. Wasn't just some guy that was reacting and it was a guy and I can't fight him. I'm going to react like a black woman and grab a knife and stab you, which is what the guy's saying. That's not what happened. So let's tell the story the right way. This is something serious. This is somebody's life. Tell a story the right way of what happened. This is somebody's life right here. So let's finish here what he says happened after that.
Backpack, the kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see.
So then the story get fired. I tried to whip around fast as I could. What you mean? What you mean you tried to whip around as fast as you could? What was y'all doing? That you had to whip around as fast as you could? I tried to whip around as fast as I could. What does that mean?
The stab.
The day of the incident, he said that they were the ones that just told Karmelo to move. And then Karmelo responded aggressively.
We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless.
See? They were the ones who initiated the conversation. The kid was not paying him no attention. I'm going to rewind this again because I know it's going to come up. Some other people want to say stuff, and I want to keep reminding. I want to hammer it in what happened. I want to hammer it in what happened. I want to make sure we know. I want to hammer it in what happened.
But as you heard when he spoke to Fox News, he said that Karmelo started speaking to them aggressively first.
We sit down, and this kid said something behind me. I've never met this kid in my entire life. Never knew.
Now, see how he lied? See how he changed the story? Panel, after dark panel. See how he changed the story? He says they was sitting there, and the kid came up behind him talking reckless and getting aggressive. But when it first happened, he didn't have time to think about it and figure out what he should say or shouldn't say. He even gonna start saying the coach told us to make sure people don't be under there. He didn't say that at first about the coach said any of that stuff. This is stuff he said after the fact. to try to make it like they had permission to guard the tent and make sure nobody came out of the tent, like the coach gave him and his brother that job. That's after the fact. When it happened, he ain't say that. Let's keep going.
Who he was, said something just inappropriate and uncalled for.
He said something inappropriate and uncalled for. You are lying. But we not gonna get on him about lying. We're gonna say, no, we not gonna get on him about lying. Let's talk about the black kid not having a father in the house when the black kid does have a father in the house. Let's get on a black kid because he was being raised by a single woman when the black kid was not being raised by a single woman, but a married woman who has a husband who's in a house with their child. See how black people so quick at times? Some of us are so quick to throw each other under the bus, but we want to give everybody else the benefit of the doubt. We giving this guy the benefit of the doubt. Even now, after I showed how he lied, I guarantee it's probably going to be some black people in a comment somewhere or watching this somewhere saying, but he still shouldn't have been there, though. Still giving the white people, the white kid that's lying, the benefit of the doubt.
When I turned around and asked him who he was, he started getting really aggressive. My brother stepped in. He started being, how he always is with me, just brothers, just having my back.
Two things.
He rechanged the whole story. None of that happened. None of that happened. What he said right here happened. I believe this because this is the first thing. This is normally what investigators do. The first thing you say is what they normally go with. They don't go with after you think about it. That's why whenever an incident happened, look at what happened when police will be in incidents where they know they did something they weren't supposed to do. The first thing they tell them, be quiet, don't say nothing, talk to your rep. They make sure they know not to say nothing. You don't have somebody still pressing them to talk, pressing them to say something. They get them time to go home, think about it, bring their thoughts together and come up with some kind of way to say why they did what they did and to justify it. Right? That's what's happening in this account. Because what he first said is what really happened. And you're going to see later because I'm going to have people to collaborate what he first said. What he first said is what really happened.
Two conflicting stories. Everyone has already made their assumptions about my son, he said, but he's not what they're making him out to be.
See, that's the guy on the panel. The brother on the panel said, oh, he ain't have no strong male role model. Oh, he was raised by a single black mother. I understand it well. I know it well. He didn't have no men around to tell him how to be a man. He said all kind of stuff. And the father's right there like, wait a minute. Y'all not going to make them crazy assumptions about my son. He do got a man in his life. I was right there. And my son wasn't like what y'all was saying. Now let's hear how he says his son was.
He works 2 jobs. He's an A student, has a 3.7 GPA. So as of now, Karmelo's facing 1 first-degree felony.
He worked 2 jobs, is an A student, have a 3.8 GPA. I believe that's what he said. Let's go back. I want to go back. Let's see. I want to go back, see what the father said. Let's go back. What's this?
Top of my back. 2 things, 2 conflicting stories. Everyone has already made their assumptions about my son, he said, but he's not what they're making him out to be. He works 2 jobs. He's an A student, has a 3.7 GPA. So as of now, Karmelo's facing 1 first-degree felony count of murder, and he currently remains behind bars. So the Metcalfs, meanwhile, have launched a GoFundMe in Austin's honor that has reached $191,000. Now, here is an affidavit that says what's going on. This is what they saying.
All right, so we're going to pause it from here too, right? Because that's why I'm bringing the facts and I'm going back to what the brothers and sisters are saying. And like I said, I'm going to rewind it back because I want to keep hammering in what happened and what we're being told. I want to keep hammering that in. So I'm going to rewind it back so we can hammer that in. because we're being told, oh, he ain't had no father around. He did have a father around. He did have a father. And his father said the son was not this little gang dude running the street, didn't have no strong male. I was there raising my son with his mom in a 2-parent home together. But guess what? I want to show you this. Guess who wasn't in a 2-parent home? Guess who wasn't in a 2-parent home? Hold on. Before we go there, guess who wasn't in a 2-parent home? What's this? This is from what's the name? Pop and Politics channel. Pop and Politics. And watch this. Watch how this guy breaks this down. And I want y'all to see who I'm talking about. It's the brother in the corner right here. Watch how he breaks this down. And it's a white guy, by the way. I'm going to call him a brother because I call everybody brother. You know what I mean? This is brother in the corner. Watch how he breaks this down. Watch this.
I definitely want to chime in on this. So first of all, the old man is a simp, right? Clearly, these kids are not raised with the father in the home. Clearly, as you can tell, that the parents are divorced. The kid.
Look, now he said that the white kids are divorced and the father is not in the house with his son. Not the black child, but the white one. Tell me more, Gimpy. Tell me more, brother Gimpy. Tell me more.
Kid is smart enough to know not to let the mom spill the beans in the interview. At least that shows that the brother who's alive understands the magnitude of the situation they're trapped in.
So look at that. So he's breaking down how during the interview he kind of jolted the mother to make sure she didn't say nothing where they can show that dad's not with us. That you and dad broke up years ago, that we're coming from a broken home. Because remember, the narrative got to be that the black guy came from a broken home. Then people on the panel, like our brother, I think his name is TK, I don't want to say his name wrong, but our brother on the panel, he can say the stuff that he's saying, and it can all fall in line with what we assume about black people. We assume this about black people so it can fall in line, when in actuality, it doesn't fall in line. And we shouldn't be assuming any of that. But look how the assumptions can go. Oh, this young man ain't had no daddy around. That's why he the way he is. But keep going.
And how everyone's judging every little detail. But that being said, whether the father forgives or not, that's not how you do it. Like for me personally, like if you're going to do that, it's not about that. He did that for virtue signaling. He did not do that for meaningful, deep, emotional response to a traumatic incident of forgiveness and come to Jesus and all that. At least I don't believe so. He doesn't look like the type of guy. And based on the fact and how the rest of the family acts, I'm going to go with the fact that that guy is not that stand-up.
Now, listen how he said. He done made a scenario. You know why he says how the rest of that family acts? Because he knows what I just showed y'all. That the young man told one story at first and then lied the second time on the interview. He lied. He lied. Just tell the truth. It's going to come out. It's going to come out. Tell the truth, right? But this is what we as black people do. This is what we as black people do to each other. And I got all of these links for these videos in the description. All of these videos are too long for me to go through all of them. I really want to fully go through the one with Anton. But if I can't, like I said, I'll probably come back and touch on it next week somewhat. Just because more than likely it's going to be an ongoing story. And I really wanted to touch on that one. But I just want to just keep this in our mind, right? I want to keep this in my mind. Watch this. Right. So again, this is Pop and Politics. They are a forum from here in Baltimore. Big up to them. Seem like they doing big things. I only seen a couple of videos from them thus far, but I'm quite sure I'm going to see more. We'll probably be looking at their videos and utilizing those things and probably getting them more views, you know. But I just wanted to touch on those things. Now watch this. This is the thing that we coming with, right? Because guess what, people? We don't just gotta go by word of mouth. We don't just gotta go by their word of mouth. It's video footage. You might be like, for real, Ak? It's video footage? Yeah, watch this. Watch out, brother, right here. It's video footage going around, right? It's video footage. Watch this.
It is crazy that America tells us to accept the self-defense claim.
Hold on, let me go back.
Okay, with the 75 people they say they interviewed, did they say anything about video was
Yes,
recording?
they have collected video.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. They have collected video. Yes, they have collected video. Uh-oh. Seriously. They collected video. So he told a different version. Best believe when they show the video, it's going to show that he's lying. Now, did they do that to the young man because he was black? I can't say that. I can't put that on it. That's what some people want to believe. They did that to him because he was black. I can't say that. Maybe it was because he was from another team. Maybe it was because he was somebody they didn't know. I don't know. But they was the aggressors. Now he's going to speak on what I was talking about with the other thing, where we're always told to give other people the benefit of the doubt. Right? Remember when the guy TK tried to flip it and said, well, what if it was this way, black people, then what? Right? We always got to give other people benefit of the doubt. But when it's time for us, it's like, no, y'all guilty. What he said, guilty. That N-word's guilty. That ain't that what he played. He giggled and laughed. They had a good giggly laugh time.
So it is video of the incident?
Yes, they have collected video. It is crazy that America tells us to accept the self-defense claim of George Zimmerman, Kyle Rittenhouse, and so many other people. But when the shoe is on the other foot, that claim is absurd.
See? When the shoe on the other foot, that claim is absurd. Absurd. How dare you guys with this claim? How dare you guys? You guys are despicable.
And I just got to call a spade a spade. No matter what my personal views of a case may be, it is quite contradicting for America to come back and say, oh, Kyle Rittenhouse can have it, George Zimmerman can have it, all of these individuals that don't look like the color of my skin can't have it. In the state of Texas, we live in a state where yet you can walk around with a permitless carry, you can walk around with a brass knuckles, you can walk around with a knife, you can walk around with all these things. AK-47 in the state of Texas. And then as soon as you see a black person exercise those rights, we now have a problem. And that's not me spitting hate or race or bigotry. That's the facts.
Oh man, so this.
That's the facts. And we see those facts. Now you might be like, come on, that's not the facts. It's not the facts. Well, let's go back to Anton crew. You said it's not the facts. It's not the facts. Let's go back to Anton and them. Let's see Anton and them after dark. Let's see what's going on with Anton and them after dark. Let's see if that truly is not the case. If that truly is not the facts. Let's see it, because I feel like it's the facts. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Let's see if that's the facts. Because y'all said that ain't the facts. Y'all said, I'm making this up. That ain't the facts. How dare you say that's the facts? How dare you fix your lips to say that's the facts? Right? How dare you? Okay, let's keep going.
On what they'll do, and that's just what it is. The little nigga was wrong. It's sad. I sympathize for him, but that was wrong. It's not black or white.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. I was just talking to somebody.
All right, so now, see, no benefit of the doubt, no innocent until proven guilty. That nigga is guilty. Guilty. Already told what everybody on the panel gonna say. For the break, everybody on the panel gonna say the same thing. And if they don't, they're gonna get argued with. And how dare you step outside of the panel? So let's hear what this sister gonna say.
Somebody about that today, because everybody's talking about it from a black and white issue, like 2K said, but I do really think that maybe in his mind he thought something, and I'm thinking you're looking at two young boys, you're looking at two.
See, and that's what she getting the story wrong. It wasn't just two young boys; it was three. It was two twins and him. Two twins and him. Y'all taking it, y'all changing the story around, making like it just was them two. And that's because when a guy changed the story, he made it like it was just them two. But when you hear the real story, you'll see that it was two on one. I'm allowed to keep going though.
Teens, and from what is being said, it's like they both, had some level of, well, I'm a grandstand, and I
think we really gotta listen to stories before we start talking about them. Ain't none of them say nothing about grandstanding. Right? One was sitting there chilling, the other one came up and messed with him. Then his brother stepped in and became even more aggressive. And he wasn't sure whether it was going to be a one-on-one fight or not. Because you see two twins rolling up on you, and the other twin not trying to tell his brother, calm down, but he right there with you, with his brother. You not thinking, oh, I'm just going to fight with one. I got to fight both of these dudes? Oh, y'all ain't fighting you, yo. I ain't fighting you, yo. That's what's going on in your mind. It's not just one person, it's two. But okay.
The boy Karmelo seemed to up the ante with the knife, saying touch me and wait and see and all that other stuff. And I'm just like, what for? Right? But I reserved a lot of my talks because everything hasn't come out. And a lot of people like to say what happened, what didn't happen, what's going to happen when they haven't seen all the information. And I'm seeing a lot of people online.
And that's what I felt like happened with y'all on this. I don't know if Anton brought this to y'all at the last minute, said look over some stuff real quick, give me y'all opinion on this tonight, or how that works. I don't know y'all format, how it works, but it clearly shows that y'all didn't really do that much of the homework, because if you would have done it, you would have known that a lot of these things y'all saying are not factually or actually what happened. And that's why I keep inserting stuff to show you, again, because of this show, I like to prove what I'm saying. I don't like to just say stuff and I can't prove jack that I'm saying. I like to prove what I'm saying, right? I like to prove what I'm saying. I don't like to just say it. But let's keep going.
Line saying this happened, that happened, that happened, and then I'll go read actual paperwork, and none of that is on there. So I'm mostly reserving what I really want to say until I have more facts. But just from the surface of it, it just seemed like he reacted in something that's similar to what teenagers do all the time.
Mika, some stuff you don't have to wait for all the details. It was a fight, a life fight.
Right.
Man, look at him. Some things you gotta wait for all the detail. That's why you got all the story wrong, because you didn't want to wait for all the details. You don't gotta wait for all the details. That's just rush to judgment. What are you talking about? That's how come you got the story wrong. You should have waited for all the details. You ain't want to wait for all the details, so you got the story wrong. Because on the story, first you said he don't got no male figure in the house. That was a lie. Raised by a single black woman, that was a lie. He was the aggressor, that was a lie. So far, all the stuff you got is from not having the full facts of what happened. But you all here, you created a whole narrative that does not exist so you can attack black women. This is not the time for you to take out your beef with black women on an issue like this. We want to get to the truth. We want to get to where not I got a problem with black women. I'm going to figure out a way I can accuse black women right now about this. This has nothing to do with black women.
Right. That's what I said from what I can see. When I can see, like I'm saying, I'm not going deep dive because I'm seeing all these.
Now, and I like what she did. She was being honest. She was like, you know what? I don't know enough about the story to comment. I appreciate that. But that's not going to be good enough for TK. TK wants you to say that guilty. That's what he wants. Keep going.
Deep dives, right? Where they're like, oh, well, he has been getting bullied and that's why he's been bringing, like, how do you know?
And then see how she was going about it, different things? They was about, no, he wasn't getting bullied. That was not even true. None of that happened, right? But again, this is people just spewing rumors about what they think was happening, which wasn't what was happening.
Know that? Like, who's telling you guys this? How do you know that he's getting bullied? How do you know what's happening? Because just from the surface, he's like, he's at a tent, right? He's at the tent of the other team, and he's supposed to be with the other team because he goes to the other school.
Yeah.
What is the purpose of you even being under that tent?
Now, that's the thing with that. Even with going to that aspect, and I feel you, like, what the purpose shouldn't have been under the tent in the first place. Okay, fine. Maybe you can say he wasn't supposed to be under the tent in the first place. But let some people of authority tell him he got to move. Get security. Get coach that told y'all watch the tent. Not you take it upon yourself to grab somebody's stuff and to put hands on them. Once you grab somebody's stuff and you put hands on them, all bets are off. And this talk about fair fight in the streets. There's no fair fighting in the streets. It's no fair fights. You're not in a boxing ring. It's no fair fights. There's no rules. There's no rules in a fight. Y'all seen Friday? Y'all seen Craig, where Craig was fighting Debo, and Debo got the best of Craig. Then Craig say, I'm just going to keep my dukes up and keep fighting. No, Craig fell on that ground, he picked up a brick, and he bust Debo in his head. That's what he did. He used a weapon. That brick could have killed Debo. It didn't, but it could have. He bust him in his head with that brick. Debo fell to the ground, right? I know y'all saying there's a movie, but that's what happens in real life. You can't say what people going to do. You can't be the aggressor and then dictate how somebody was going to respond to your aggression. Especially when a person's saying, don't touch me. And if you do touch me, I'm not going to be responsible for what I'm going to do. Those are called warnings. I'm warning you not to touch me. I'm warning you to leave me alone. That's what that's called, a warning. I'm warning you to let it go. They didn't follow the warning.
Right? Like, why are you sitting with the other team in the main tent instead of even on the bleachers or wherever else? Like, why are you in there in the first place? And then they're asking you to leave from what the main story says. They're asking you to leave and you're like, I don't have to. Like, what is all of that? For what?
He don't have to. We didn't have to. Not from them. He probably looked at them like, y'all don't got the authority to tell me to leave. Y'all just some dudes just came in a tent. The same way they didn't know him, he didn't know them. He see them get under the tent. They walk right over to him. He's sitting over there minding his business. They come up and tell him, you gotta move. Like they running a show. What they were supposed to do is go tell. The same way we saying he should have did XYZ, they should have did XYZ. Same you saying, well, he should have just got up and moved when they said move. No. If he didn't move when they said to move, their next bet was say, okay, we gonna go let them know you under here. And then walk off. Then he got the option, no, let me move, because now they gonna get security or whoever to come get me. That's how that should have ended. That's how that should have ended. Not, I'm going to make you move because I'm big and bad and tough.
What? Like, why?
Why?
And you can just get up and leave. Why do you want confrontation? So
why, when they can just go get somebody that got authority to make you leave? They wanted confrontation. They initiated. They wanted the confrontation.
I want to know more about that, like all of that. I want to hear like what the witnesses had to say.
I'm not mad at him for even wanting the confrontation. I'm mad at him for how he handled it.
Okay.
All right, because if you know that you for to get into a combat, hand-to-hand combat, that's cool. Be confrontational, handle it that way.
Hand-to-hand combat with two people. Hand-to-hand combat with two people. Where I come from, that's called getting banked. Then if those two people are the stars of the team and they banking you, and they got some other people behind them, guess what? They gonna jump on you too. So what do you mean handle your business?
But to take his life was nonsensical because this wasn't that type of fight.
And for what he was saying, I don't even think the dude was trying to take his life. I think he just was trying to stab him and get him up off. I'm going to stab him real quick and poke him. Then he going to feel a poke and he going to like, oh, shoot, he stabbed me. And that's what that. I don't think he realized that he was going to die. Because they ain't say, I'm going to kill you. He just said, touch me, you going to find out. Leave me alone. Don't mess with me. Don't touch me. He ain't say, I'm going to kill you. You see what I'm saying? So stabbing him, most of the time, even when you think about it, you're not thinking, I'm going to kill the person when I stab him. You thinking, I'm going to juke him. They going to feel a poke. They going to be like, oh, shoot, yo, stab me. Yo, grab his side or something. He'll go to the hospital, but he going to know not to do nothing like that again.
That's like you got on boxing gloves and you pull out a gun and start shooting. No, this ain't that. And you know it. You know you the only person with a knife on the whole campus because
How you know you the only person with a knife on the whole camp? See how the stories get fabricated? How he know they didn't have knives? He don't know them. He don't know what they got. He don't know what they got on. He don't know that the other brother ain't have a. He don't know if they had a gun. He don't know that. You are assuming that he knew that. You can't prove that he knew any of this stuff. You can't prove he knew any of this stuff at all. But you done made up a whole scenario that's unfounded with facts or anything. It's all fiction.
You don't supposed to have it here.
Yeah, right.
All right, that don't mean the same way he got something there and you ain't supposed to have it there. That don't mean the other guys didn't have nothing. He don't know what they got. A lot of times people think if I'm doing something, you probably doing it too. People think that way sometimes. They don't know what's going on with you. They not going to assume.
Right. And then people are online talking about, well, he's black. He from the hood. You don't know how it feels to be this and this and that. It's just like all of this. It's like if you're gonna be confrontational and he's putting it.
Again, those people that's making up those different scenarios, they are trying to feed into things that they think they know. This kid worked 2 jobs. This kid was a B+ student, basically an A- student, right? This kid was an A- student working 2 jobs and an athlete. It ain't had nothing to do with his neighborhood. Or maybe it did. I don't know. I don't know where he lived at. So let me take that back. It could have had something to do with his neighborhood, why he had a knife. I know people used to just have knives just to have knives. There ain't had to be nothing going on. You just had a knife. And nobody looked at you as, oh, you threatening. Now, if you got a gun, that's something different. But you was walking around with a knife. You ain't had no permit to have a knife. You walk around with a knife, buy the knife right out the store. You didn't buy a knife in the market. Hey, what are y'all talking about right now? But see how it's every excuse to be able to say the black person was wrong. The black person shouldn't have done this. The black person shouldn't have done that. Every excuse to try to point out the black person and say how the black person was wrong. So I'm going to let it finish up with her. I'm going to let it finish up with her. And then we're going to come back next time and next week for our second episode of Criminal Justice. We're going to come back and finish dealing with Anton's panel. But let's finish going on our second episode of Criminal Justice. But I'm going to finish dealing with our sister. I don't know what her name is. Anton said her name. I can't remember what our sister name is, but I'm gonna go on and finish up with our sister.
His hands on you. Okay, go ahead and fight. Punch him in the face. Whatever. Why are you upping it to the fact of a knife?
Right.
Like I don't. That's the part I don't understand.
See, now this the thing about like all my roots are in the hood. So when I voice something like this, I get like major black backlash. Because like they have literally made it a tribal thing. Like they cannot see past their feelings. And when I tell them, okay, well, go stab your grandma. That's the biggest bully in the fucking family.
Yeah.
I said, hold up, wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Yeah, we're going to come back on that one. We're going to come back on that one. We're going to start right back there. He said, go stab your grandma. That's the biggest bully. So your grandmother is a bully. You don't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out. You under your grandma's roof. She raising your bed. She raising you. Or taking care of you. And you calling her a bully because she tell you right for wrong and tell you what to do? She a bully? What in the world kind of dumb mess is this? That's what I realized with TK, and I think that's his name, TK, when he said that, I said, yeah, this brother kind of off. Yo said, stab your grandma. You'll come back. I forgot he said that mess. Yo says, stab your grandma. What? So, yeah. We gonna close out on that note right there. Now y'all see why I had to do it. I was trying to avoid talking about Karmelo. Until I say this panel, and I said I got to talk about this. I gotta talk about this. So definitely gonna come back next week. We gonna deal with part 2 of this next week. With that being said and done, we're going to have our artist of the week. Which is God's Will. And God's Will had this song called I'm an Israelite. Our artist of the week. I'm about that life, cause I'm an Israelite. What? An Israelite. What? About that life? I'm about that life, cause I'm an Israelite. I might let that song rock over till next week. That's my joint right there. God's Will music. That's my joint right there. They did it with that one. All right, with that being said and done, people, I appreciate y'all for logging on here with me tonight for our first episode of our Tuesday shows, which is going to be called Criminal Justice Tuesday, where we're going to be dealing with legal issues and stuff like that. And I'll give you my take on it and try to bring out some Torah things, dealing with it. The main thing I could say with the ethics of the fathers on this is, we just gotta, if I'm not for myself, right? If I'm not for myself, then who is for me? But if I'm only for myself, what kind of person am I? And if not now, when? Right? Brother looked out for himself. if he wouldn't have looked out for himself and it would have went a different way, then what would be said? Oh, it wasn't a black thing, or why he shouldn't have been under the tent. Right? But the brother looked out for himself. And then you mad they looked out for himself. But at the end, you know, we gotta do what we gotta do, people. You know, and you gotta be able to live with the consequences of your actions. Our brother looked at something. Again, he don't know what they got on him. He got the yin yang on him. How he know they don't got the yin yang on them? Especially if they being aggressive in his face. Especially if they touching his stuff and throwing his stuff around. And he's telling them to stop and leave him alone. And they still doing it. And then when he jumps out there and strikes, now he's the bad guy? I'm curious to know how they felt about George Zimmerman. I'm really curious. They felt like Zimmerman did what he was supposed to do. Trayvon should have got killed. Trayvon should never been walking around with the hoodie on at night. Why was he walking around at night with a hoodie on? Is that what's happening right now? Like, I'm so serious. Like, seriously right now. Anyway, I'm not going to rebash the show. We're going to see some more about it next week, and I'll be able to give more of a good summation. But that was my Pirke Avot thought for this show thus far. All right, I will talk to you all later. Shalom.
Shema Yisrael Adonai